Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and happy Speed Duel Sunday, my friends. So, I wanted to make this deck, and again, we will be doing our little duel between my Amnail build and Celestial's Hero build here in the next couple of days. We get another box that we're going to be opening for our buddy George here tomorrow. And so I really wanted to do like a tech deck, something that's like really fun, but also like makes full like advantage of using cards from all levels of the ban list. So I wanted to give you guys a tier 2. And again, if you want to change this to tier 1, I'll explain at the end of the video how to do that. What's the best things to change around for a more casual rather than competitive experience. But and just real quick, I want to do a tech dark because again, tech decks, they really remind me of like early years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that's just kind of how we built and how we played. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the skill. Now, when I built this, I did not build this using a skill because the skill I would have used is actually on the limits list. And while you could absolutely have used the I'm just going to attack Joey Wheeler skill, I wanted to use David here, which is you flip this over when you activate it. It's the digging for gold skill. You just activate this during the main phase once per duel. You can banish 3 cards from the graveyard to draw 1 card. This is something I found just a tad bit more useful for me during playtest. So that is the skill I went with, my friends. Now that said, if you would rather use the Joey Wheeler skill, go for it. You'll just take Break of the Magical Warrior out of the deck and just double up on one of the other spell traps later. So let's get you guys into the main portion of the deck. Obviously, we're going to be starting with monsters, and I want to start with the brand new Arcfiend Soldier. So again, a little bit blurred. I'm not too sure what's going on here. Maybe it's this guy. Maybe it's not. Either way, Arcfiend Soldier, he's going to do some things for us. He is going to be a base 4-star, 1900, and he's Dark Attribute. That's really what we're after here today. We want heavy hitters. We want him to headline. And this new set was, again, just very good at giving us more big monster cards. We are going to go back to the Battle City box to grab 2 copies of the Beast of Tulwar. So, again, big monster, dark. Doesn't matter that it's a fiend. That just sort of happened. It's not part of my theming at all. Again, it just comes out to being like a big monster. And again, if you don't want to run 2 of him, only run 1 of him. This deck works well at 8 monsters and can still operate at 7 monsters. So, again, don't feel like you're locked into anything, but you will notice the vanilla normal typing now. Next card, you are going to use 1 copy Break of the Magical Warrior. And again, this is for the obvious effects. So when normal summon, place 1 spell counter on it. It can hold a maximum of 1 at any point in time. This will gain 300 attack value for every spell counter on it. Again, maximum of 1. That'll bring it from 16 to 19. You can remove 1 spell counter from this card to then target a spell trap on the field and destroy that target. So again, he's very cool. And again, he's not 100% necessary. But we do want to use him. And then another good card that we're going to go again back to Battle City. We are going to grab 3 copies of the Vorse Raider. Now, the reason we're grabbing the Vorse Raider is again Dark Attribute and again 1900. So getting the Arcfiend Soldier was really like being able to double down on this from last set. And again, Arcfiend Soldier is relatively like the only buff here from the last time. So it's really just like a rebuild and a retrain for the new list. Moving forward into the spells, we're immediately going to knock our 2-ofs out of the park. You're going to run 2 copies of Lure of Darkness. And believe it or not, even if this one was still 3 for tier 1, I would not up this to 3. This would stay at 2 because it's actually good ratio when dealing with a deck of this size. Next up, we're going to knock the other 2 of the 3-of list out. And that's going to be our Book of Moon and our Cosmic Cyclone. And again, just obvious reasons. Book shuts things down. Cosmic Cyclone's a quick play that still does our spot removal for the back row. So again, we're going to use these. We are going to use a Night Beam in here. And again, if you wanted to go tier 1, you could make this another copy of Cosmic Cyclone because again, I do feel it is the better one. But again, I wouldn't go past 2 of the here, especially since Breaker's already in the deck. So again, that'd be fine. And again, another quick swap here would be you could obviously change Breaker into a Book of Moon because you'd have a double Cosmic Cycle, and that would work out as well. One of is we're going to use the Offerings to the Doomed, and I actually do like this as a one of, even in tier 1. So again, we've knocked our 1, we've knocked our 2s, we've now got all of our 3s. We're done with our ban list. Again, this is why we had to go with the Digging for Gold, because we were going to just lock ourselves out of the limited skills. But again, if you were not just doing this just for fun and you were in tier 1, the Joey Wheeler skill is definitely a very attractive skill to go ahead and add into the build. Finishing out our spells, we are going to run a single copy of Shrink. And again, like the only thing I would change here then is if we did change the Breaker out, or maybe even you just took a Beast of Tulwar out to maintain the Breaker. You swap the Night Beam into a Cosmic Cyclone. The Beast of Tulwar and the Shrink could be additional Books of Moon. So again, there's not much that I would change, but that's about it. I'm not going to talk about the changes anymore because that's it. We're just going to go ahead and finish out the deck now. And then there are a couple of options I do have for tier 2 for the sideboard. So as soon as we can get there, we'll get there. We do want to use some traps. So first up, something I'm really in love with. Again, guys, you'll notice the vanilla typing up here. I want to embrace that a little bit. And I want to go with 2 copies of the Justy Break trap card. So first off, I love the fact that it's got Sparkman on there. Just always been kind of a fan of Sparkman. I don't know what it is, but anybody in cartoons and anime especially that uses electricity just seems to immediately be one of my favorites. The way that this card works, when your opponent's monster declares an attack on one of your normal monsters, you will destroy every monster on the field except for those that are in attack mode and are normal. So again, the only real loss in our main deck would be that Breaker, but this helps us combat just a wide variety of other builds. And then last up, it is still the GX era, my friends. The Lost Winds are going to help us, not just for the main effect and all the monsters that are going to be special summoned anymore, but we are going to be able to gain reuses if our opponent has special summoned something out of their extra deck. So just real quick, here's our 20 card main deck. If you guys are on mobile, if you guys are on like tablets and stuff, maybe go ahead and consider that screenshot real quick. Everybody else, I would encourage a quick pause and make some quick notes. And if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back with the rest of the deck. So just one moment. All right, and we're back. Hopefully you guys got your notes. And just real quick, I wanted to interrupt and be like, if you guys are enjoying this and you would like to, continue enjoying this and maybe support the channel, a couple quick things that you guys could do. You guys could easily just like and comment on this video. Of course, subscribe if we've earned it. And only if you have maybe a little extra in your budget and you'd like to donate a little more directly, I'll leave the Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description. But you don't have to do any of that. And all you got to do is really just come here and enjoy the stuff. And that's more than enough for me, guys. So let's give you guys the extra deck. It is the Tech Extra Deck. You guys need the Blue Eyes Ultimate. You guys need the Cyber Blader, the Cyber End, the Ujama King, the Ryu Senshi, and of course, the Thousand Eyes Restrict. It is the Tech Extra Deck. They are the best. They are the strongest. They have the best effects in the game right now. And more importantly, they can be played using the rest of my side deck. And the rest of my side deck gets a little weird, guys, because like realistically speaking, there's only like 3 cards that are really need to be in here. And those cards are the following. I do keep a second copy of Night Beam in the tier 2 side deck. And I keep 2 copies of Waking the Dragon in the tier 2 side deck. And again, you guys do whatever you want with this. It is entirely up to you. Now, moving forward, what are the last 3 cards? Well, I've got 3 options for you guys. And you guys can choose to play them in any ratio or anything that you guys want. So the first one up is maybe you guys like Lost Wind and you'd like a third because sometimes that's important. Okay? And if you do, I would suggest 1. However, you might be thinking that Shrink is going to do the same thing while being a quick play. And then there's also going to be the fact that Lost Wind can only target things that were special summoned. Shrink is a little less picky. So again, these are really interchangeable decisions. And right now I've been putting two of Windstorms of Itaqua into side decks because of the Cloudian threat. Cloudians are actually kind of goofy. They can do a lot of things. They do it really quickly. And the biggest flaw is if they go to defense, they are destroyed. So if you are able to set up a Windstorm of Itaqua, you let them play a monster or two, whatever, and then you can go ahead and you can just wholesale clear the board of them and then make sure that they're no longer a threat. And since this is, of course, a big beatdown, it's all going to be good anyway. And the reason I say it's iffy in this one is because we're already running the Justy Break trap card. So normally, the way this was written in my notebook is it was Shrink or Lost Wind, player's choice, and 2 Windstorms. Now, if you don't think Windstorm is necessary due to the Justy Break, you could absolutely double up on the Shrink and throw a Lost Wind, or you could go with a double Shrink and a Windstorm of Itaqua. This is entirely up to you guys. But just speaking from my experience in my play tests and seeing what's been happening lately, the last 3 slots are entirely player choice, my friends. So that's it. Maybe another screenshot, notes, whatever you guys need to do. And even if you guys don't do any of the other support stuff, do me one favor. It's still Sunday, still the beautiful weekend. Granted, it's a little rainy for me, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll get the grass cut here in a little while. But do me a favor. Do something for yourself, okay? Go out and make a point to enjoy today and every other day, my friends. Okay? I want to hear that you guys are all having good days out there. I know it's inevitable. We're all going to have the bad ones, but we need to keep looking for the good in everything, okay? So take care of yourselves, and hopefully I get to see you guys again on the next video. See you later.